hopefully we can agree that the hand should pronate on all throws. Now let's take a look at the throwing action of the hitter, and again we'll see the same properties here, and we'll look at a few different ones. I brought this one up because Jeter actually misses this ball here, and here it's more similar to throwing because we don't have contact, and thus we don't have anything slowing down the path of that back arm. So he misses this ball, and again we get the same characteristics that we see in the throwing. Okay, we get what would have been contact here, which would have been a the palm still up position and with a slight bit of flexion in the back arm, and then we see right after that, as he goes through, that arm's going to go into extension, and that top hand is going to pronate. It's going to get over the top. Okay, so we see the finishing of the throw here, what would have been contact, and then extension and pronation, which would have been after contact. And again, we get this position here just after contact. Both arms have extended, top hand over bottom. So again, what's my point of showing the miss? Is it shows clearly that pronation is a natural part of the batter's throw or the hitting action, and we don't have bat ball contact, which will, of course, it'll delay that process. And we see this a lot in youth hitters, simply because they're not strong enough. The bat doesn't overpower the ball, and so a lot of times that's a cause of the delay in the good hand actions we want. All right, here's a shot at Ichiro, and this is one of those where it's about as close as I can come to finding someone where the top hand is over the bottom, but it's still not happening here. He's still not rolled over there. So we get contact here with Ichiro, and then after contact, then we see that top hand getting over the top. Okay, now you'll have a lot of coaches say that that's a rollover swing, but again, the reality is that he's palm up, palm down until the ball is gone. Here's Will Clark. Again, unfortunately, a little bit tough to see bat ball contact there. We get a little blur, but you can see contact there. I'll try to back it up. A little bit blurry on this one. But again, I'm trying to find some of the ones that may be a case of rollover for someone that says that that's a problem. But here we get contact here, and right after contact, that's when those hands are finishing through. And again, Clark always finished on his swings, meaning he got contact, but that back arm always extended and pronated over the top before he released. Always finished through contact. And again, the ball is gone, so the hand pronating, the wrist roll itself isn't added anything to the flight of the ball. What hand action is, in other words, what this wrist roll is, what this pronation is evidence of, good pronation or good hands through the ball, is evidence of whip effect. In other words, if the hands are snapping through, that's evidence that you've given everything to the bat. If the hands aren't snapping through and the arms and shoulders are still dragging through, then you haven't funneled to the bat. You haven't created the degree of whip effect that you could have. And again, refer back to the water out of the bucket videos earlier up in this thread. There should be a bracing effect just before contact. You can see Will Clark here, when he lands, we get a good, there's a great deal of pelvic rotation that occurs there, but that is stopped about right here. The hips aren't rotating there. Okay, so there's a bracing. The shoulders, stop rotating, and then so if we have good hand action, that's evidence that we're cracking the whip, that we're creating good conservation of momentum principles, that we're giving everything to the barrel. And ultimately, that's what's important, is how fast is the barrel moving when it hits the ball? How much did we compress the baseball? So if you can get kids to have good hand actions through contact, which is really finishing that throwing action, feeling that back arm at contact, we're in this position, palm slightly up, back elbow slightly bent, but then really finishing, which means extending and pronating just after contact. If you can get kids to use their hands properly, it will backwards chain. It will train the body, to funnel energy to the hands. Learn to hit it with your hands, not the body, and that is creating transfer and getting energy to where it needs to be. Okay. All right. Here's Adrian. Contact there, and then within 2 or 3 frames after, we get top hand over the bottom. Both arms are extended at this point. Top hand over bottom. Here's Ripken, and he was a guy who had a lot of hand action through contact. Would be another guy that people would say, well, he's rolling over, but he just, contact is here, palm up, palm down. So the ball is gone, but he really funneled to the hands. There was a lot of whip effect going when he swung the bat, and that is shown in that good pronation. Here's another one of Cal Ripken. Again, contact here. Again, that's about as close as I can come. And again, like I say, the higher level hitters are always closer after contact to pronation. So we get contact here, okay, and then that top hand gets over and finishes the throw. There's another miss, okay. Again, you can see because you missed, the hand's always going to pronate faster on those because the ball will slow the bat down. That's just common sense. The ball is going to slow the bat down to some degree when it hits it. Here's Bonds. Again, another miss there, and you can really see how quickly that hand is over the top. Now here's Rod Carew. And again, very active hands through the ball. Mike Schmidt. You can see how quickly with Schmidt, very active. We get contact here, we're still palm up, palm down, but he was really a guy that really wanted to get that top hand over as quickly as possible. Okay. And I do tend to find myself liking some of the older guys better. I think they relied more on efficient, effective mechanics and less on supplying the power muscularly. Here's Cabrera. Again, we get contact here, palm up, palm down, back arm near extension, and then right after that we get that top hand pronating over the top. Here's another good throwing action from Cabrera. Contact. Again, we're near extension there. Okay, then immediately after, you can see that top hand getting over. Again, Cabrera, top hand release guy. He gets the hand off the bat just before pronation is finished. I try to get my guys to finish pronation before they top hand release. Matt Holliday. Again, the same, elbow slotting, extension, contact, pronation. And then again, we get this top hand over bottom, both arms extended, kind of a crisscross position out in front of the chest, right there. And there you see Holliday just after pronation releasing. Okay. Again, and that's what I like to see. I like to see that top hand over the top, and then top hand release. And I prefer top hand release, but only after the arms have finished. The top hand is pronated. Both arms are into extension, and then we can release. So that's really what I like to see with finish right there. Contact here. And then once that back arm extends and pronates, it's fine to let it go. And again, I prefer that. I think top hand release promotes the throwing pattern and prevents, again, near extension, contact, pronation. Here's AJ Przinsky, who had a really nice year this year. Contact, then we get extension and pronation.